What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, Jacked Up Fishing. Well, as you can see behind me, gel coat is all done on this bad boy. This video, I'm gonna show you how I did it and what I did to prep it, get it done, and show you how I did the non-skid on there. It's just a sand non-skid, but it's pretty cool how I did it. Little tips and tricks. All right, stay tuned. Here we go. Well, as you know, I'm working on this black boat, my shoal water, 21-foot shoal water cat. And now it's another day. We just got done painting it on the last video, as you guys seen. I painted the outside. I also did some motor parts. We painted some of them. But now it's time to turn our focus to the inside. I got it inside the shop here, and it's a new day. I'm gonna take out all the hatches and get it ready to do a little touch-up gel coat. We're gonna got some spots that we got on here that are chipping off. Chipped gel coat here, more chipped gel coat. The front deck's wearing a little bit. I throw a lot of nets, so you know it's obviously the lead from the nets, banging the nets. It's gonna wear on the gel coat. I like this interior personally on boats just because of what I do. It's a rough interior. It's nothing more than just a sand coat. But I do like this interior just because it's rough and rugged. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna take out all these hatches, take out anything that I need to take out, and get it ready for a nice coat of gel coat. And we're gonna put a little bit extra sand in there too so it ain't so slick, at least on the floor, because down here, this floor is slick. So we're gonna clean it all up, take everything out, get it ready for gel coat, and that's the next step. All right, let's get started. All right, let me show you what I'm working with here. I just took the hatches off. There's a bunch of caulk around there. This is 10 years of dirt and grime from shrimping, fishing, all in here. I'm gonna scrape all this, get it all clean. In every hatch, I've got 5 hatches. Also in the console, as you can see in there, I'm gonna clean all this up, get it all cleaned up in there, de-rig it all, and we're gonna start fresh. It's a serious 90 degrees feeling right now. It's hot, starting to bust a sweat. I'm gonna turn the fan on, get to work. So this boat's pretty unique. It doesn't have a bilge area. It has a bilge area, but it doesn't need a bilge. It's all self-bailing. Even if you fill this boat up with water, it does not sink. It's only 8 inches deep total. As you can see, that's the gunnel height right there. That's 8 inches deep. You can fill this thing up completely solid. I've done it. Sometimes when we're shrimping, I'll reverse the boat, let it fill up with water and flush it out to get all the jelly and the mud and all that stuff out of the boat. But as you can see, it's not the driest boat everywhere. It's pretty moldy in there. I'm gonna coat that with some bilge coat. Bilge coat's a little bit smoother, so it doesn't hold in the nooks and crannies of the bilge area. So I'll show you that later on as well. But that's what I'm gonna do in all these hatches, just do a little bilge coat. All right, back to it. Last hatch over here to get off. And then I gotta cut all the silicone off, or the sealant, and then just keep de-rigging. Alrighty, so I just got all the hatches out. Most of the caulking I got off, but I'm gonna sand the inside lip. Probably do that tomorrow. That's all I got tonight. So I guess I'll see you guys in the morning. Day 2, Coming back out here, I'm gonna clean up all these hatches. I got a flap wheel from Harbor Freight. It's a sanding wheel. That way I can sand all this glue off, all this caulking off, get it all nice and clean, so I can put a nice good coat of epoxy resin on there. Also gonna continue de-rigging the console, get it all de-rigged. That way I'm completely done de-rigging. I can start fresh and get on it with the gel. After I gel coat, just start fresh with a new re-rig, new wiring, new everything. All right, I'm gonna get to it. Start it off with grinding all these hatches out, make sure they're good, and then I'm gonna mix up some epoxy resin. Here we go. All right, so as you see, I got it all cleaned up all around there, even did the top a little bit around the outside. I'm gonna wipe it with some acetone and do a little hot coat with some epoxy resin. But before I do all that, I got 4 more hatches to go. There's one there. Took me about 5 minutes, no big deal. I'm gonna do all 5 of them right now, give it a quick coat, maybe do a couple coats. Let it soak in and go from there. They're all cleaned up. The main thing is, before you apply any kind of resin or any kind of fiberglass, is to make sure you're on a clean surface. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a wipe with some acetone. I'm gonna wipe all these edges with some acetone. Then I'll mix some of this resin up. We'll give it the hot coat and we'll move on. You want to be generous with this stuff. Don't skimp on the tone. That's for sure. Make sure it's nice and clean. Rub it nice and make sure all the stuff's gone. If you see anything pulled off before, it won't adhere to it otherwise. All right, there's one hatch. All right, not too bad, not too bad. So what I'm gonna do now is I have some West System epoxy resin. I have the pumps. So these are the two, the 105, 205. I got the fast hardener, so I want it to kick quick. What I'm gonna do, it's pretty easy. You pump one pump on each, and it gives you the correct mixture. So you just count your pumps. So right now I don't need that much. So I'm just gonna do one pump on the 105, one solid pump, and one solid pump right there. That's all you're gonna need. Maybe I'll give it 2 pumps. So 2 pumps on each. One more there. One more right. Ooh. Uh-oh. That didn't make it too easy, did it? I'm gonna mix this thoroughly. Mix it thoroughly. I'm just using a little bit, so it's not too bad. I'm just gonna use a little cigar roller, if you will, from painting. So it's nice and mixed up. All right, so I'm still mixing a little bit. I seen a little bit that wasn't mixed up enough. Oh, don't drop that down in there. I'm hoping my mixture's right. It looks like the straw might have fell off the little one, but I think it's gonna be okay. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be. And I got my cigar roller here. Let me go ahead and get it set up. Just gonna coat the roller here. Doesn't have to be real drippy or anything like that. We're gonna go over it with a couple times. These little cigar rollers are priceless. It's hard doing it with one hand, I'll tell you that. All right, let's see if I can get a coat on here. You can see it is wetting it real nice. This stuff is serious. Make sure and get them corners real good. Get all of them real good here. And I'm gonna come around and do another coat here in a little while as well. But I just wanna make sure I get a nice quick coat on it all. It's just adding a little bit more protection. I noticed that they didn't coat these very well, or even if they did at all from the factory. So the back ones were, so I'm just putting this on. Nice even coat all the way around. Looks good, looks good. Move to these back hatches real quick. Almost feels like it's setting up. See, these already got a coat on them. Ain't too good of a coat though, I'll tell you that. Last one. And this is just a hot coat. That's all it is, that's all it's called. And it's just to let it soak up into the wood or whatever's there. And that's pretty much it. All right, we're gonna let that set up for a little while, then I'll come back and mix up another batch. All right, so while I'm waiting on that resin to dry, I got these stickers to remove. I'm gonna take everything out of this console. Take a good look at this console, because that is the last time you're gonna see it like that. I'm totally redoing the whole console. I'm doing acrylic dash, everything, all new controls, everything. So right now I'm taking out all the speakers, all the rod holders, and first thing I'm gonna do is take off the jacked up sticker. Get a new one of them as well. I am on the next day. I've come back, hit this few times. It's got a nice coat of epoxy in there, some West System epoxy. Now I'm gonna get this thing ready for gel coat. But before I do that, I got a couple things I wanna fix, and then there's a couple spots, like, let me show you right here, that have gel coat chipping out. It's just 12 years of just beat. Okay, so we've got it all prepped up. I got it taped off, and we're getting ready to start cleaning it out. It's all sanded. We're gonna acetone this bad boy. We're gonna start doing our first layer. I'm waiting on a couple things I patched up back here to kick off, and then I'll sand it down, and then we'll clean the whole boat up, get it ready, and I'll start doing the first coat. Okay, so we're just prepping everything up. I want to make sure I showed you guys how I do my non-skid. So the non-skid that was on here was just a quick, like a little sand, medium grit sand, and it was pretty good. It was actually really good. I'm just going to do a little bit more this time. So on this one, I'm using some medium grit pumice. It's just sand. It's like a thicker, coarse sand, not too thick. I've seen people that had too thick and it was like rocks on your deck. So you don't want that. But just a medium coarse sand. And how I'm spreading it to where it's not like blotchy in certain areas is I've modified a little mini seed spreader. It's a Scott's mini seed spreader there. And I have put inside of it a bunch of tape. I hope y'all could see that. And I got just a little hole. So no matter how much I squeeze the trigger, it's always gonna be consistently like, and I've tuned it to where it actually just sprays the sand evenly. And I just go around the deck and spray it evenly all around the deck. So what I'm gonna do is lay a thin coat of gel coat, roll it on the front deck and on the floor first of where I want this non-skid, and then I'll seed it with the seeder and I'll let it kick off. So after it's kicked off, I'll let it kick off and harden, and then I'll come back with the blower and blow all the sand out, and anything that's stuck to the gel coat will stay there. Then I just keep coating over it, and then that's my non-skid. So we got the whole boat blown out. There's no more debris in the boat. Nice and clean. Now we're gonna wipe it down with acetone real good and make sure all the surfaces wiped down. It gets a little tacky as well. So here we go, we're gonna put it on now. And you can be pretty liberal with it. It evaporates super fast. I just dump a little bit on, start wiping, and make sure I just coat the whole thing. You can see it evaporating right away. Wipe it real good. And we're gonna work the whole boat. Okay guys, so I got some gel coat here. This is unwaxed gel coat. We don't use the waxed gel coat until the final, we don't use the gel coat that's waxed until the final coat. That's, if you want to recoat and it's not waxed, you don't have to resand. You can just go right over it within due time, you know, of course, because it's not really going to cure. The wax comes to the surface and creates like an eggshell, if you will, and lets the gel coat cure really hard where you can sand it and buff it and stuff. But gel coat right here is unwaxed. I have my MEK. I mix probably 1.5 to 2% MEK. So I'm gonna mix up probably like a pint or something like that and just do this thin coat. We're also using these special rollers. They don't break down with the gel coat resin. And we're gonna go ahead and put a coat on. I'm gonna do the seeder and just lay our non-skid real quick, and then I'll come back a little bit later after and blow it all out and do a whole nother coat on top of it. It's already white. We don't need a real thick coat. That's how you get cracking or crazing if you coat your gel coat too thick. So I'm just using a nice foam roller. It's little, no nap at all. Just gonna go over it and put my non-skid down and then just do little thin coats until I get the texture I want. All right, let me get to mixing. We'll get to coating. You gotta mix it up real good first. Make sure it's all, there's nothing settled on the bottom. And then, I've been doing gel coat a long time, so I kind of know the feel of what I'm looking for. Like I said, it's a 1 to 2% ratio of the MEK. I just kind of do a little of this, and that's I kick it pretty hard. All right, I gotta get to work because that was kicked pretty good. Get that out. All right. I'm just doing a thin coat on the top where I want the gel coat to be, and I want the non-skid to be. Any patches I also want to go over too, because that's hard to cover the patches. There's a patch there, going over. So I got the first coat on. I'm gonna start on the front deck. I'm gonna start sanding while he keeps going with the gel coat. So I'm just sanding it up now, just putting the sand down and let it stick there. And it's just putting a little bit out, nothing crazy. But I think I'm done here right now. I can see the sand in the gel coat. You can see it just a little bit in the gel coat right now. Nothing crazy. The whole front deck, you can see it right here. Yep. And we're gonna let that kick off for a little while, and then we'll come back, blow it all out again, and go for the second round. So we're back now. It's been about an hour. The sand on here is dried on here. It's really gritty. I like it. Not too bad, not too harsh on the feet, but it's gonna be nice, man. It's gonna be real nice. I'm gonna go ahead and blow it out with the blower, and we're gonna start coating our final coats. All right, let's go. Well, it's all done. It's all white, looking good. Look at that bad boy. Yeah, man, it looks wet in certain spots and it doesn't in others. That's because I was touching some stuff up. Came out good though. Revamped. So we're gonna let this dry. We're gonna let it cure, and then I'm gonna come back with any touch up. If I see any spots I need to hit, kind of hit them a little bit, and try to do that in the next couple hours. But it's cured up pretty good, curing up nice. I can smell it kicking off. Looking good. All right, we'll see you back here in a little while. I'll pull the tape, touch up a few spots, but she looks good. You can see the non-skid showing pretty good. That's our non-skid. No more slipping while we're shrimping. Looks good. All right, guys, we'll see you back here in a little while. All right, guys, it's all gel coated. Looks boss, all brand new. Got the non-skid in there. Let me see if I can get a good zoom with a non-skid there. As you can see, here's the non-skid. It's a nice, not too rough, not too smooth. Came out awesome. I'm stoked. Now I'm gonna get to work on this console. I'm gonna wet sand it, buff it out, get it perfect again, and then start rigging. I can't wait to start rigging this thing. I'm gonna put the rub rail on first, I'm gonna do some bilge coat and all my hatches, coat it in there, sand it down, coat it, make it nice and smooth where the mold doesn't look like a stick in the porous areas. And then start rigging. I can't wait to get to it. All right, well, stay tuned for next week's video. I throw the rub rail on, put the hatches back in, and start doing the console. And I can't wait to hang this engine. All right, guys, well, that's all I got for you. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. This is my project right now. I also am working on another project right here. Boom. Yeah. And that's a whole nother series coming up for y'all. But stay tuned. I hope this don't turn into a working channel more than the fishing channel, but I'll be back on the water real soon. All right, guys. Stay tuned next week. Jacked Up out.